So we have a pretty limited total addressable market, right? I can kind of count all the accounts that we want to go after as we're going through that, and we know them relatively well. We also, as we were looking at our data, and the reason why sales wasn't picking up our leads was timing is off. So we like your leads, they're the right accounts, right people, there's just not an active deal here as we go through that. So we're wasting time, we're wasting money, we're wasting sales time because our timing was off. And so we went out and started on kind of our account-based marketing journey as we went through this. We said, okay, well, how do we figure out those that we don't know about? So we partnered with a technology, we use Everstring, and we said, let's build these fit models to help us identify those we don't know about. But we really built out a relatively sophisticated model across each of our business units for what makes a good fit company as we went through that. So now, I went from my total addressable market to knowing who's actually a good fit for us. Then the next giant question, obviously, was how do we solve this timing issue? And out of those, how do I know who's actively in a buying cycle? And that's where we really looked at Bombora and the intent data as we went through that. And so that's where we call, right, ABM with intent detection. We started out with a single use case. We knew we wanted to use it everywhere across this life cycle, and I'll talk about the back half in a sec. Our first and foremost, though, was we had to fill top of funnel. Right, we needed to know who were a good fit and what was that intent. So we used Everstring for the good fit, Bombora to identify which of those are actively in market for us. We start to marry this all with the intent data as we go through that. And then the magic. What in the heck is this account actually looking to buy right now? This is really, really critical for us. So I can dive into this and see, oh, they're looking at Pega. And then I can look and see, oh, are they also looking at RPA? We have a solution there, right? Is that something I may want to talk with them about? And I did a big whole sales enablement training to the entire sales team. And then I'm like, hey, we can actually help you identify those accounts. Or what if I could tell you who's actively shopping for contact center as a service? So this has been really, really critical because with this, right, I can see, okay, here are the top things they're surging on. Here's their intent. Who do I need to talk to? Right inside of this account. How do we go after them? And we build those attack plans. If you look at this, you'll see, right, we introduced fit data back in probably late Q3 of last year, and our intent data. And so we had been doing okay. So the top line is basically our number of sales qualified leads, and then our sales accepted leads are the bottom line there. And so, right, it's how many leads are you getting a meeting with and how many of those are actually converting to something sales wants to work. So I measure that as a quality score, essentially, right? Am I getting leads and meetings that sales wants to work? So we stood up our fit data and our intent data there. About 40% operationalized, I would say, as we were going into Q4, was a big part there. And you can already see, we're already starting to exceed quarter over quarter, starting to see some trends. Some of that was some efficiencies we put. I wouldn't say it was all due to fit and intent data at that point. But we started to see higher quality leads come in. So the question was that trend going to continue forward? As we continued in Q1 of this year, we were up 120% over the previous quarter again. We're like, okay, we're seeing something here. I haven't changed my ISRs. I haven't added more ISRs. So something is starting to work here. And actually the Q2 number is higher. I had to pull this data like about a month, maybe 6 weeks ago at this point. So that number is actually a fair amount higher now. And so our number of meetings we're securing with leads, I'm getting many, many more. So not just garbage leads coming in. So that was a big, big indicator for us. Even more so where the leads that we were getting are converting at a higher rate to when sales actually wants to work. We've for the most part, eliminated the timing issue. Still comes up on occasion. That's a big deal. We're getting much better deals in the areas we want to talk about as we go through there. And that quality, as I said, is improving. The Q2 number is a lot higher than that was, but we're hitting it about almost 1 to 2, 1 to 3. Every meeting we get is actually turned into a real opportunity. Like, it's been a big, big deal for us to get to that level of quality of lead consistently coming in, and it's because of fit and intent working together for us. The next is really around actioning this throughout the holistic sales cycle. So I mentioned how we're going downstream as we're going through this, and we're still kind of processing these different components. So the first thing right now, because of the Salesforce integration, we're now able to suck all of this data into our data lake. What we're wanting to measure is as we go through the pipeline, and I watch the intent, right? So is TTEC brand increasing or decreasing? Is my competitor's brand in that account that they're surging on increasing or decreasing? Is the topic that they're going on increasing or decreasing? Our hypothesis is if we look into that, we'll actually be able to forecast win rate to a pretty darn accurate perspective and be able to tell our sales team, you should probably all but disengage with that account because you almost have no chance of winning it. Or actually keep working that. We know they've gone silent, but they're all over our website. They're continuing to show intent. We think this is really likely to win as we go through that. So using this throughout the pipeline. Also, our next step is marrying this even tighter with account-based advertising. So we have Terminus internally, and marrying up intent with that to marry and tell kind of our story of, okay, we know this buyer persona comes in at this stage of our buying cycle and we want to warm them up and they're showing intent on this topic. That's part of what we want to get to around pipeline acceleration. We say marketing's job is to do basically 4 things, which is fill the funnel, accelerate the funnel, increase win rate, and keep those customers as we go through that. So loyalty and retention and expansion are also 2 areas that we're actively in process of rolling this out. Expansion is pretty easy, right? Account planning, pull up that great panel that we have and see, or just run your accounts through your system and see what else are they surging on that we could sell them. That's a pretty easy thing to do. What we're more interested in is in the loyalty and retention. Leading up to a renewal, what are they surging on? Are they surging on a competitor? How big of a threat is this and how likely of a renewal are we going to be to get? So in conclusion, because I want to leave time for questions, what we found is it's not just a tech, it is a big culture shift. We have shifted our entire kind of business to say, what are they surging on? What are they surging on? When your CRO says, great, what are they surging on? You're like, yes, I did it. I did it. They believe. So some recommendations. Zero in on your topics quickly and identify where you have gaps. And if you have gaps, ask for them. The team at Bombora is amazing. Include your sales team and show that value early. And don't boil the ocean to start. I could have gone through that holistic funnel and we would have never gotten anywhere. And find a quick win. For us, that was top of funnel, right? I can get better meetings, higher quality meetings. If I can do that, I can justify everything else I want to do.